Every business owner knows that data is the backbone of operations, powering operations, decision-making, and customer interactions. However, alongside its benefits, there exists a significant threat: data breaches. The repercussions extend well beyond the immediate aftermath, persisting for years. According to IBM's Cost of a Data Breach report in 2023, only 51% of breach costs occur within the first year, with the remaining 49% stretching into subsequent years. Today, I wanted to discuss some of the long-term consequences of data breaches, using some real-world examples to illustrate how such incidents can impact a business's reputation, finances, and regulatory compliance. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I am Michael Kinnett. I'm CEO and founder of Itronal Networks, and every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, I go live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn to discuss the latest in technology and cybersecurity news that might affect you and your business, and to cover some educational topics to help achieve our goal of helping others to build safe and secure environments to do what they love. Normally at the end of our live session, I'll answer questions from the audience, but today I had a meeting come up for a client that I need to take care of, so this stream's been pre-recorded. But if you do have any business questions, ask them in the comments, and as soon as I'm available, I will respond to those and answer those questions for you. Or you can book an appointment to talk to us by using the link on the screen now. First, I do have a security vulnerability that I wanted to bring to awareness. A critical vulnerability with a CVSS score of 9.9. That's bad. We'll just put it that way. It's affecting Cisco Unified Communications products. It enables remote code execution and poses a substantial threat to your network if you have a Cisco Unified Communication product. To abuse it, a remote attacker, all they have to do is send a specially crafted message to an open port on the affected Cisco product, and it allows them to gain full administrative control, hence the 9.9 rating. So Cisco has released some patches, so immediately patch those if your organization uses Cisco Unified Communications products. If you're not able to do that, Cisco does recommend setting up some access control lists as a temporary mitigation measure to limit the exposure of that vulnerability. If you've recently ran a penetration test, or if you know that you have Cisco products within your organization, please make sure that you address that vulnerability immediately, as Cisco has been a major target in the past, and it's expected to be a hot target with this vulnerability for hackers. All right, now some things in the news. It should be no surprise to any of you that this is a huge weekend for NFL, for sports fans, but also for Las Vegas. The clash between the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl this Sunday won't be the only battle taking place in Las Vegas, though. Away from Allegiant Stadium, cybersecurity experts are going to be countering threats from hackers they expect to be particularly challenging. Preparations for defending computer networks in Las Vegas have been underway for some time, with concerns about the potential for politicized attacks stemming from presidential election and other geopolitical tensions owing to the conflict between Israel, Hamas, and the war in Ukraine have added to existing cybersecurity concerns and threats from criminals and nation states. Las Vegas has invested billions to become a sports and entertainment hub, with events like the Super Bowl contributing to its allure. However, that also puts a target on its back. Ensuring that cybersecurity of such events is a monumental task, involving extensive planning, scenario testing, and collaboration among various stakeholders. The significance of the Super Bowl underscores the need for robust cybersecurity measures and collaboration among different entities to ensure the safety and integrity of digital infrastructure during major gatherings such as the Super Bowl. So I'm excited for the weekend. Unfortunately, I won't be watching the game. I'll be traveling for a cybersecurity conference next week that I'll be attending. But good luck to both teams. Hope everybody performs well, and it's exciting for everybody. And hopefully there's no cybersecurity incidents and the defenses that have been put in place will be effective. Also, this is local news. January 28th, a local business owner in Las Vegas shared her experience with local news about criminal hackers who duped her into purchasing over $3,000 in gift cards to regain access to her Facebook business account. Initially, She was tricked by a deceptive email. She unknowingly fell into two separate hacking traps, ultimately losing control of her account and being coerced into buying gift cards by a fraudster posing as Facebook support. Despite realizing the scam, the victim was compelled to comply, fearing the loss of her business. This cautionary tale sheds some light on the rampant rise of such scams and has prompted warnings from the FBI for consumers to remain vigilant against suspicious emails and demands for access. The FBI and other cybersecurity professionals have emphasized that legitimate companies will never request gift cards as payment. That's a huge red flag. If they're asking for gift cards, your boss is not going to email you and ask for gift cards either. That's another one that we see quite frequently. Luckily, the victim in this case did manage to recover most of her funds. However, that is not always the case. Also, this is another big headline I've shared in the past, a lot about ransomware. Well, 2023 ransomware payments skyrocketed past $1.1 billion, breaking the previous records and reversing the decline from 2022. Ransomware was down a little bit in 2022 from 2021. This surge underscores the immense profitability for ransomware groups, reflecting their increasingly sophisticated tactics. With cybercriminals exploiting digital vulnerabilities to demand hefty sums from victims, businesses urgently require strong cybersecurity measures to protect themselves and minimize financial losses. Collaboration among government agencies, law enforcement, and private sector organizations is also essential in combating ransomware and protecting critical systems and infrastructure. And now for our discussion about the lingering effects and consequences of data breach. There was a data breach in 2019. You may have heard about it in the news. It was at First American, and it really shows how bad things can get when data gets leaked. The New York Department of Financial Services slapped them, First American, with a $1 million fine this last year for a breach that happened in 2019. Keep that in mind. For not keeping people's sensitive information safe. It was all over the news. And the reason it was all over the news is because they exposed over 880 million documents with personal and financial data. This mess up not only broke data protection rules, but also proves that the fallout from cyber breaches can stick around for ages, seriously damaging a company's reputation. Today, I wanted to cover more on the consequences of data breach, especially the consequences that linger long after the initial incident. And I want to focus on 5 specific areas that have both immediate and lingering consequence. First, financial repercussions. I already shared a statistic in the opening, right? That a study has shown that only 51% of the financial toll comes in the first year, 49% come in years after. The financial toll of a data breach is significant. That's the reason I'm talking about it first. Immediate costs include things like breach detection, containment, customer notification. Beyond those, though, there are long-term expenses. These relate to legal battles, regulatory fines, and reparations. Regulatory penalties are just one facet of the financial repercussions. Others include potential legal actions from affected individuals, as well as class action lawsuits, adding to the monetary strain on your organization. Number 2, reputation damage. The impact to a business reputation is arguably the most enduring consequence. How many of you still know about the Target breach? And that happened years and years ago, right? Target was breached, and there's still a topic of conversation years later about what happened. Customers lose trust in a company's ability to protect their sensitive information. This loss of trust can result in a decline in customer retention, as well as acquisition difficulties and long-lasting damage to the brand image. I think I've shared with you before that there's an air conditioning company in Las Vegas that was a victim of a breach that I was involved in helping with reparations. And let's just say they didn't take all of my recommendations after the fact. We don't do ongoing services with them. And I will not use them personally because I'm aware of, I don't want to put my information at risk. Now, that was a private company. If you hit the news, your reputational damage is going to last for years. And rebuilding a tarnished reputation takes time. It also takes concerted efforts. These may involve public relations campaigns and enhanced security measures. And these actions help assure that stakeholders renewed commitment to data protection, right? So taking those steps can help prove that you're committed to it, but those things take time and they also add to the financial burden of that breach. Number 3, regulatory scrutiny. Regulatory bodies increasingly hold businesses accountable for safeguarding consumer data. A data breach triggers regulatory scrutiny. This can lead to fines. It can lead to ongoing compliance requirements. Regulatory authorities take a stringent stance on data security, as well as on companies that fail to meet cybersecurity standards. The fallout includes financial penalties, as well as increased oversight and mandatory security improvements. Next, operational disruption. The aftermath of a data breach disrupts normal business operations. Companies must take remediation efforts and put in place enhanced security measures. These can divert resources away from core business functions. The company feels the impact across departments, affecting productivity and efficiency. The ripple effect of operational disruption can extend for years and can impede growth and hinder the organization's ability to adapt to changing markets. Number 5, this is the last one I want to talk about today, is customer churn and acquisition challenges. I referenced it a little bit before in reputational damage, but I think it deserves its own category. A data breach often leads to customer churn. Individuals lose confidence in the business's ability to protect their data. Acquiring new customers becomes challenging. Potential clients are wary of associating with a brand that has suffered a breach. The prolonged effects on customer acquisition can hinder the company's growth, as well as its market competitiveness. The repercussions of a data breach extend far beyond the immediate incident, as we've talked about some of these things. They can impact the financial health and reputation of a business for years, as well as its regulatory standing. The frequency and sophistication of cyber threats continue to rise. Proactive cybersecurity measures are not just a necessity, they are a strategic imperative for safeguarding the long-term success of businesses. The true cost of a data breach is not always immediately evident. It's a very complex interplay of things like that I just discussed: financial penalties, reputational damage, regulatory consequences, operational disruptions, and these impacts can persist for years. So it's important to learn from others, from real-world examples from other organizations, as well as focusing on robust cybersecurity measures that you can put in place in your organization. This helps businesses to mitigate the risks associated with data breaches, as well as safeguarding their immediate interests and their long-term viability. Remember, most small businesses close 6 months after a breach. Most of the ones we hear about in the news are large businesses, and they have much deeper pockets and much more access to capital to try to weather the storm, but it is still very damaging for years to come. There are many ways that criminal hackers can breach a network, from endpoints to cloud tools. You must run a tight security ship. If you're ever looking for any advice or help, you can always message us. We'd love to educate. We'd love to help improve cyber resilience and help people focus on what they love without having to worry about, are they going to be the next headline? We do have an upcoming webinar. Just want to point out, as technology advances, the risk of cyber attacks grows, especially for small businesses who are the most vulnerable to breaches. That's why we're thrilled to announce that our upcoming training session on why you need a cybersecurity risk assessment. A CSRA, or cybersecurity risk assessment, involves a thorough evaluation of your organization's cybersecurity status and helps to pinpoint potential threats and vulnerabilities. The aim is to grasp your current cybersecurity standing and pinpoint areas for enhancement. So join us next week, February 15th at 1 p.m., as we'll be addressing the most significant threats to your business and some actionable steps that you can take to help identify and mitigate those risks immediately. You can sign up at the link below, and we'll drop it in the chat as well. Thanks for joining us today. If you have any questions or comments, you can always contact me via direct message, contact our office, or email us. Visit our website, itnet.works. Have a wonderful weekend, and hopefully we'll see you next week on our webinar. If not, we'll catch you next week on our live stream on Friday. Thank you.